know that, baby, I got biggest fan of all. 무언가 가시는 소리.
This is a drawing of Big Bird. This is a drawing of Big Bird after somebody slipped me Ambien. Help, the fucking walls are melting.
Do you want to know how to make money off of your art so you can afford hookers and blow? Me too. If you figure it out, please let me know. Also, if you want to be my little pay pig slut, buy a t-shirt.
Damn.
Fine, I'll do a self-portrait. My TikTok audience is all just a figment of my imagination. A simple hallucination to make me feel important. Anyways, I'm gonna go take 40 Benadryl and go to a haunted house with a gun.
Oh my god, 타이밍이 참 얄미워. 오늘 같은 날 마주쳐. 이게 뭐야, 머리는 엉망인데 다 상태가 말이 아니야, 모른 척 지나가.
Today we're going to be drawing your personality. When I think of you, I think of a steaming pile of consumerism and industrial waste. I say this because you've done nothing for this earth other than vaguely pollute it with bad ideas and literal trash. Share this with somebody who deserves to know how fucking worthless they are. Also, you guessed it, this is an advertisement. Hello, mister. This video will not entertain you, so go ahead and scroll. You fell for my reverse psychology. Now you have to stay and watch me draw this line art of... Huh, what is that? Oh, that kind of looks like a crude drawing of you and I kissing. In fact, just below frame, I'm pretty sure I'm filling you with my breeding juice. So your parents have stopped feeding you because you provide no worth to this earth. Let's fix that by learning a valuable skill. Let's learn how to draw. Here, let's just get this paper ready. So now that the paper's prepared, I did a little bit of work off camera, but now that the paper's prepared, I feel like you can kind of just see what I did with the process. It's pretty much just a bunch of random lines, so yeah. I'm degrading you, because if ugly was a disease, then you'd be patient 0. But diseases are curable, and if you want to look fresh, you need to dress fresh. Shameless self-promotion time. Buy my goddamn t-shirt, or your close family and friends will disappear. They will be discovered in shallow graves in the woods. Yes, this is a threat. Give me your money. Know how to draw a big, brolic, sweaty man. Like a real man, one that could take advantage of my little artist femboy body. So for step 1, you're just going to want to pencil in the general anatomy. Make sure you give him some big boobs and a big old gut. Step 2, we're just going to go ahead and add some ink to our sweaty cyclops here. Anyways, do you ever just feel like your skin's a little too tight on your body? Peel it off. Peel off your skin.
Poop on cat. He poops on cat.
You have trouble moistening the panties of the opposite gender? Here's how to pull bitches using your art. I like to open up with a funny little pickup line.
Hello, attractive female. What's the difference between me and my grandfather?
I don't know.
There is no difference. We're both ashy.
So if her panties aren't around her ankles at this point, you're just going to want to go ahead and show her some of your normal drawings, not the ones of her as a furry. If all of this fails, just go for her sister or mother. Alright, goodbye. The only thing I enjoy more than drinking alone and arguing with strangers on Reddit is anti-corporate corecore videos. So I present to you the first ever corecore drawing, patent pending. Just like corecore is a congregation of media, this is a congregation of symbolism. I honestly have been just getting super pissed off at those lazy CAPTCHA advertisements from these big corporations, so I made this out of frustration, pretty much. It's pretty much a rebellion against materialism. Anyways, if you want to buy this on a t-shirt, go to the link in my bio. So the super famous TikTok star, Cody Tarantino, wants to know how to draw a... And I will do anything for Daddy Cody. So the first step is to get inspired. So for this, I'm going to watch several hours of hidden camera footage of Cody sleeping. Step 2. You're going to want to sacrifice a goat to Allah. Goat blood is my favorite medium to paint with. Step 3. Accept that you will die on May 3rd, 2043 at 5:13 a.m. due to an unavoidable catastrophic brain aneurysm. And bam, just like that, we have a... Hope I helped. Sleep soundly. Do you derive sexual pleasure from public humiliation? Because my followers do. Roasting your art part 2. Here we have Theodore Roosevelt standing. If you're a history buff, then you know that his legs were floppier than grandma's coochie salami in the wind. Which means he probably had to sit to pee. What a pussy, right guys? Next we have a glass of either whiskey or piss. Either way, I'm okay with it sliding down my greasy fucking throat. This submitter, quote, might have schizophrenia, but hasn't been diagnosed yet. Speaking of schizoid drawings, here's my boyfriend Carter's drawings. 100% schizophrenic, 1000% boner-inducing. To be featured, DM me pics of your drawings and or your ass. So you want to know how to draw with pens. Luckily for you, Daddy Ashy is here to fill all your tight little holes with some hot and salty drawing knowledge. Firstly, just like the male reproductive organ, size matters. I like to use 8.005 for detailed drawings and a brush pen when I want to fill in big spaces. Now, pens are a bit like being in a relationship with a narcissist. When you make a mistake, you can't just correct it and move on. You will be reminded of it all the time. In order to psychologically condition myself, whenever I fuck up a line, I force the tip of my .8 Faber-Castell into my cock until it bleeds. This ensures less mistakes and less of a chance that I can reproduce when I'm older. The scariest part about drawing with pens is if you get any ink on your face, you will get cancelled on Twitter. I know this didn't help, you may scroll. Here's some art things that make me want to remove my cock and balls with a table saw. Number 1. Corporate art style. Also known as corporate Memphis, this style is drier than your girlfriend's panties when she sees you shirtless. Anytime I see this, I puke a little bit in my mouth. So does your girlfriend when she sees you shirtless. Number 2. White mother live laugh love deer paintings are just sickening. For real, I hate these more than my current life circumstances. These are not very cash money. I guess you could say ashy would not smashy. Number 3. The most gut-wrenching, vile thing in the art world are those TikTok artists who use meta self-deprecating jokes to pull views because their actual drawings don't get any attention. What pens do I use to make all of my ink drawings? Just like male reproductive organs, they vary in size, shape, and color. First, I'd like to introduce my girthy black Studio Series brush pen. The brush is so big it has trouble staying erect and it doesn't last very long. It feels great in the hand, but it's a little too wide for my tight virgin anus, so a 6 out of 10. Next is a pen that is very industrious. It has Japanese lettering on it, and usually Asian pens are a little on the smaller side, but this little rocket packs quite the punch, and it loves to spew out white stuff nonstop, so solid 8 out of 10. Next up is a Tan Pigma Micron. It has an average length and girth for a pen. I like the 0.1 tip size for detailed lines. It's an all-around good pen for both drawing and butt play, so 7 out of 10. What's up, you insecure sacks of semen? I think the best ideas come whilst pushing out a stink brownie. I was in the toilet today squeezing brown Play-Doh through the old star mold, and I thought of a great idea. What if I publicly roast my followers' art? Here we have a Benadryl hallucination followed by this from the very same submitter. I'd pay money to put that little finger bone in my man pussy. I don't know dick about anime style, but I think this eye is a little too long. Like, that's at least 2 inches. That's super long, right, girls? This bitch came out of left field with better art than mine, really dominated my femboy ass. Also, I bet Grundlethorn the Devourer here gives pretty good head. I gotta do it, I'm sorry.
Everybody's heard about the bird.
To be featured in my next roast, go to my IG, link in bio.
So Eric's shoddy left him, and he thought it would be safe to be vulnerable about that in one of my comment sections. So today we're going to be drawing Eric's ex with another man. So Ricky, the midget in the dog costume, and Frank, the dragon covered in pubic hair, need some friends. So we're gonna go ahead and draw Eric's ex with a new man cuddling, like, right about here. Oh yeah, we're gonna give the new boyfriend just some big masculine nuts. Just some real honkers. I wonder if this video crosses a line. If there's a line, this is the one to cross it. Jokes aside, I hope things get better for you, Eric, even though there is a permanent art piece showcasing the tragic breakup to thousands of people online. You know what? Can we get an Eric, we believe in you in the comments? Because you deserve the world, buddy. You know what? Fuck them hoes.
What's up, you musty little stinker? Here's some art things that give me earth-shattering erections. Number 1. It's a little controversial, but lime lips are probably my favorite reoccurring drawing. In fact, every time I see these, I excrete Nickelodeon slime from my breeding shaft because I'm just too damn excited to contain myself. Number 2. Pendulum paintings. These require a ton of skill and hard work. I often try to pee in my toilet in a similar pattern out of respect for the craft. Some of these paintings are for sale for more than it costs to adopt an actual child in the US. So I tried to achieve the same look with a marker. This will be available on my website for $9,011. Number 3. The most panty-moistening art thing on earth are TikTok artists forcing satire to try to farm views because they're ultimately running out of ideas. What's up, you bareback femboys? Do your drawings look poopy like this?
Yes, Daddy Ashy, I want to learn how to draw.
Yeah, so for tip number 1, we're gonna want to sell all of our art supplies and become a plumber. Because we need more of those in this world, not more pretentious assholes.
But I want to sell my designs.
Yeah, so does everybody else on the internet, and it's actually a really hard market to get into. I've learned that myself.
But what if I want to do freelance graphic design?
Shut up, you deplorable shit nugget. I will turn your mouth into my urinal if you ask another silly question. AI art will take over the market within 5 years. Graphic design and likely even animation will be obsolete careers for humans.
But how come you're trying to do all these things?
Oh, I'm just telling you all this to discourage you from learning so I have less competition.
You're a hypocrite.
You're adopted. So, Darth Door's dad died, and I have a little series where I like to draw your comments. So we're going to be drawing Darth Door's dad in an urn. I just want you guys to know that loss can be hard, but I've always found that the best way to cope is substance abuse and taking your anger out on strangers. But if that doesn't heal the wound, feel free to crawl into Daddy Ashy's bedsheets for a therapeutic spooning session. You can be Big Spoon if you want, you know, maybe you're a little spoon, that's fine. Just remember not to shower for a few days so I can chisel the dandruff out of your hair into an empty Altoids can. Side note, I will snort your skin cocaine after you leave, and it will make me feel like God. Another side note, if you're actually dealing with loss, then, you know, R.I.P. I hope this made you, you know, giggle a little bit. And, For You page really is for you then,
Bum bottom, bum bum bottom, bum bottom, bum bum bottom, bum bottom, bum bum bottom.
Do you want to know how to shade your drawings? Luckily for you, Daddy Ashy is here to pinch off a turd of drawing knowledge into your gaping mouth. So our first shading method is called hatching. It is a real humdinger. It really rushes the blood to my penis. This is a drawing I made using primarily this method. I mean, this is the Honda Civic of shading. It's fast, it's efficient, and there's not a lot of drawbacks. Next up is cross-hatching, which is the abusive father of shading. You mess up, you pay for your mistake. Sometimes my cross-hatching is even spotted drinking alone and getting angry. I don't know about yours. Next up is stippling, aka fucking carpal tunnel. I couldn't be bothered to actually make a full-blown drawing using this, but here's Peter Draws, who does it all the time. I love this guy. I use his stuff as references all the time. Check him out. Last is scribbling, which is for lazy people. Alright, goodbye. Drawings look like big poopy, and if you let me dump a hot salty load of art knowledge down your neck and chest, you can draw like me. Tip number 1. Wow, those lines sure are hairy. Let's shave those down using Manscaped. Just kidding, let's focus on line confidence. When creating lines for drawings, it's important to have confidence as to not make it messy. Ideally, more confidence than you typically have while speaking to the opposite gender. You insecure bitch. Tip number 2. Practice, practice, practice. I use drawing to escape the soul-crushing thought of my own death. I also try to do it for money. Either way, you need an incentive to motivate you to practice. For the record, showing ladies your sketchbook does indeed pull bitches. Tip numero 3. Accept that no matter how hard you work to harness your creativity and forge your technical skills, Jackson fucking Pollock will have earned more recognition and money than you ever will. And as always, if there was a dislike button, I'd tell you to hit it because I loathe existence. Ashy out. Here's some art things that make me want to tenderize my shit pipe with the blades of a weed whacker. Number 1. Vector line art is a drawing style commonly spotted near box wine addicted middle-aged women in broken marriages. If I was forced to choose between drawing in this style again or crawling back into my mother's womb as an adult, I'd start covering myself in olive oil as lube because this is just soulless. Number 2. This one might get your panties in a twist, but hyperrealism to me is kind of just a waste of time. Why spend hundreds of hours drawing a man getting possibly peed on? There's no evidence against it. When you could actually pee on your friend in real life, hit record with your Snapchat camera with the flash on, and then you could send that to me if you want. That'd be totally cool. My point is, then you have a full colored video rather than just a gray snapshot of the event. Then again, who am I to judge? My art looks like a lobotomized toddler drew it, but you see my point. Number 3. The most toe-curling, disgusting thing in the art world are those TikTok artists who indirectly advertise their products to you while you're just trying to enjoy a video. Link in bio. You want to know how to use pencils to shade your drawings. Luckily for you, Daddy Ashy is here to fill that tight little turd cutter of yours with some hot and salty shading tips. If you're an artist with any dignity, you probably own an array of pencils that vary in darkness of shade. I like my pencils like I like my men. The darker the better. This skull drawing was made with a range of 3B to 8B pencils. You were made by your parents, who largely regret your birth. Anyways, just like ink pen shading, there's a variety of methods to get graphite on the parchment. Here we got the real basic hatching and cross-hatching. For emphasis, let's look at these in terms of high school girls. These two basic bitches are often spotted wearing Birkenstocks, hitting a puff bar whilst complaining about their boyfriends. Pretty vanilla. Next up we have blending, which is either done with a paper stump or your finger. Due to the fact that you have to finger this one for it to exist, we're gonna call it the hot Cheeto girl of shading. Is this analogy working? Please let me know. We got a bunch more I couldn't be bothered to draw myself, so here's a graph I found on Pinterest. Alright, it's about that time when Ashy needs to go off and drink alone and quietly sob into his pillow. Hope this helped. Bye. I'm gonna teach you how to stay motivated with drawing. I bet you're thinking, wow, whoever made these probably has a chronic drug issue sparked by a lack of hugs as a child, as well as an underlying insecurity of his abnormally small penis. And you'd be right. I sure can't pleasure women, but I can pleasure 22,000 TikTok followers with drawing tips and wacky hijinks. So tip number 1. There's no such thing as a bad drawing. At the end of the day, drawings are just lines on paper, and just because you have an inferiority complex caused by your parents showing more affection to your siblings than you as a child, that doesn't mean those negative feelings should carry over into a hobby you're trying to pick up in your 20s, so just be easier on yourself. Tip numero 2, supplement with substances if you have to. If you need to use drawing as an excuse to drink alone because that's what motivates you, then that's fine. Personally, I like to sip NyQuil until I forget who I am, then just pound out a shit ton of drawing. Tip 3, try to do it for money. I got my second ever t-shirt order, Cerebral Ink, and I felt like Jesus himself was dripping candle wax on my nuts. Oh, I fucking love money. I'm just such a little capitalist piggy. Oh. But yeah, it feels really good when people buy your shit, so that's a good incentive.